welcome. Welcome to your darling program. Welcome to ABNCV Newspaper Review. Here with me, I have the Punch newspaper and I have the Tribune newspaper. Firstly, we are going to feature into the Punch newspaper. Experts urges African organization to prioritize cyber security governance. A cyber security governance risks many government and compliance aspects of Shaliwa addition has called on African organizations to shift their focus from symbolic implications of governance-led frameworks that promote digital resilience. Speaking on the rising threats of cybercrime across the continent, Mrs. OSUN emphasized that certification, while important, do not guarantee protection unless the underlying process are actively guided day-to-day operations. Governance must lead the cyber security conversation in Africa, she said. Adis also a certified ISO 207 lead implementer and holder of security is also a preview for the International Journal of Research and Innovations in Social Science. Experts urge African organizations to prioritize cyber security governance. The full set of these stories inside the Punch paper for today. Another study here with me in the Punch paper for today. Conference explores insurance pensions impact on economic development. The 10th edition of the Conference of Nigeria Association of Insurance and Pensions Auditor is set to focus on how strengthening the insurance and pension industries can boost the economy. In a statement on Saturday, the association indicated that the conference theme is a strengthening pension and insurance framework for a better economy. The conference will be chaired by a former commissioner for insurance, Mr. Sunday Thomas, with the managing director, chief executive officers of OSUN Asset Management Limited, Mr. Olatunde Amolegbe, as keynote speaker for the 2025 National Congress, stated for September in Lagos. The keynote speaker, Mr. Olatunde Amolegbe, is the past president of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. Conference explores insurance pensions impact on economic development. The full details of these stories inside the Punch paper for today. Another story here with me in the Punch paper for today. Large-scale cooperative roles in fostering financial security. The Lagos State government has reiterated its commitment in building an inclusive and resilient economy by enhancing the power of cooperatives to foster shared prosperity across communities. This was emphasized by the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investments, Fola Shade Ambode, during a welcome address at the 2025 International Day of Cooperatives, held in collaboration with the Lagos State Cooperative Federations. A Sunday statement noted that the event, which doubled as an award ceremony, recognized outstanding contributions by cooperative leaders and institutions in Lagos. Speaking on the theme, Cooperative Driving Inclusive and Sustainable Solutions for a Better World, Ambode noted that the theme aligned with the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration theme development plan, both of which prioritize grassroots employment and small business supplements and economic equity. Lagos State government hails cooperative roles in fostering financial security. The full details of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. And before we come back to the second edition of this program, the Tribune newspaper, we'd like to go for a break and listen to what we have for in our studio. We'll be right back to the second edition of this program.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Isone Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich.
To our studio, and I hope you listen to what we have in our studio. Now to the second edition of this program, the Tribune newspaper. Talaba lawmaker dumps APC and gives reasons. Former members of the House of Representatives for Wukari and Ibi Federal Constituency, Honorable Shidi Danjuma Usman, has resigned from All Progressive Congress (APC) and citing loss of confidence in the party's internal democracy and deviation from its founding ideals. The ex-Taraba lawmaker who represented the constituency in the 8th and 9th National Assembly said his decision to leave APC was the product of deep reflections. In a telephone interview with journalists, the ex-Taraba lawmaker said, after developing thoughts and careful reflection, I resigned as a member of the APC. Since joining the APC in 2020, I have served with unwavering loyalty and commitment. Shidi, a strong contender for the Taraba South senatorial seat in the last election, said he enjoyed overwhelming support across the zone but was unjustly denied the party's ticket due to internal wrangling. Nigeria Tribune reported that Shidi was initially recognized by the APC as its senatorial candidate, but his nomination was challenged in court by Senator David Chimkata, a rival aspirant who alleged irregularities in the party's primary elections. The matter was dragged up to Supreme Court, which eventually ruled in favor of Chimkata. Ex-Taraba lawmakers drops APC, says and gave the reasons. The full set of these stories inside the Tribune newspaper for today. Another story here with me in the Tribune newspaper for today. IPA demand immediate reopening of short radio station in Niger State. The International Press Institute Nigeria has condemned the suspension of Bangiji 90.1 FM, an independent radio station operating in minor Niger State. The closure was reportedly on development by the governor Umar Bago over the station's alleged broadcast of contents critical of his administration. This is contained in a statement jointly signed by the IP Nigeria President Musikulu Mujid and legal advisor Sobi Soniyi. The institute described the suspension of yet another crackdown on freedom of expression and media freedom and calling it a grave violation of press rights and democratic norms. IPN Nigeria highlighted a pattern of press repression under the Bago's administration, and it recalled that in January 2025, Yakubu Mustafa, a journalist with People's Dailies and the Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), was detained for 3 days. His decision followed the circulation of an article critical of the governor Midan advisor. IP Nigeria said the governor's actions contravened Section 22 and 39 of the 1999 Constitution, which guarantee press freedom and access to information. IPI demand immediate reopening of short radio station information. IPI demand immediate reopening of short radio station in Niger State. The full set of these stories inside the Tribune. With me in the Tribune newspaper for today, and which is the last story here with me. Experts suggest solutions to Nigeria's worsening housing crisis. Apparently, worried by the worsening housing crisis in Nigeria, industry experts, policymakers, and other stakeholders have suggested possible solutions to make affordable housing available to 20 million Nigerians in their need of accommodations. Worried that more than 90% of Nigeria cannot afford to purchase a home due to high costs, the experts push for local production of building materials and the centralization of the infrastructure management and improve access to cheap funds. They also confirm collaboration among stakeholders, urgent land reforms, and prioritization of affordable housing and the pillars of economic growth. The experts, while expressing grave concern over the deepening housing availability crisis in Nigeria at the 19th African International Housing Conference in Abuja, argue that inadequate housing not only perpetuates socio-economic inequality but also directly activates civil unrest, influence migration patterns, and high unemployment rates and rising crime rates, and increased poverty. They pointed out that the provision of this decent housing for Nigeria remains a critical solution to insecurity in the country. The theme of the forum is reimagining housing through innovation and collaboration and policy. And speaking former Federal Ministry of Information, Professor Jerry Garner, advocated that the NIACA production of building materials to reduce the high cost of housing construction. He also emphasized that the digitalization of infrastructure management by empowering the federation units to provide basic needs like housing. Experts suggest solutions to Nigeria's worsening housing crisis. The full set of these stories inside the Tribune newspaper for today. And that what we have for our newspaper review. If you like to like us, share and comment and watch it live and direct on our website page. On our social media page, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. On our Facebook, you can like, comment, share, comment and subscribe. And click on ABSV OSUN. Likewise on our YouTube, you can click on ABSV Nigeria. And we also have our Instagram, you can click on ABSV Nigeria as well. And lastly, on our Twitter, you can follow us, like, share, comment, and make sure to subscribe. And click on ABSV OSUN. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. My name is Kenny Afolabi. Bye for now.